Right, so look at the Pugh matrix. I've got two spreadsheets over here. One which is the Pugh matrix itself, another one which is some example data which we'll have a look at in a second. But let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got a set of factors here, generic at the moment. So we've got a set of samples, again generic, and also we're going to put in the name of the food. Some little instructions over here. We're going to calculate a baseline, and you may need to do this, so maybe you can just do it by inspection. We've got three things happening. If it's better than baseline, we call it a plus. It's about the same, we call it 0, and if it's worse than the baseline, we give it a negative. Now that's what's happened over here. Now these aren't numbers or symbols. What they are is a drop-down menu. So in the case of the moment it's 0, so we can change it to 1. We'll notice the calculation changes. Gives you rank based on the information that's calculated over here, but what we really want is a rank down here. At the moment, this hypothetical sample 2 is ranked number 1, which is best, whereas samples 4 and 5 are ranked worst. Right, okay, so how to use it. So first thing we want to do is a copy of this. Whenever you're using a spreadsheet, you shouldn't write all over the actual native spreadsheet. You just copy it and use that one. So I'm going to go to move a copy. I'm going to create a copy. And it's going to have a little chunk to do itself, and it's creating an identical version of it. So I'm going to rename that as milks. Oops, because that's what we're going to be looking at. Right, okay, now we'll come over to this spreadsheet. I found some information on various nutritional factors about various types of milk from a website, this one here. An example in paying attention to what you're looking at, it's claiming coconut milk doesn't contain any protein according to the website. Well, it's about 3%, 3 or 4% protein, so that's not the case. Now, if we look over here, we'll see in the column we've got the type of milk, whereas over here we've got the factor in the column. Along here we've got the particular factor, whereas over here we got sample name. So we want to reverse this one. I could have done this table the right way around in the first place, but it was just copied from the website. It was just easier to do it this way. So we just need to copy this. Got a copy, clipboard, paste, and paste, and there's paste transpose, which you can see has now got the factors in the vertical column and the different milks in the horizontal row. I'm not going to do that because I've already done one here. Now we mentioned over here we need to think about the baseline. The baseline is basically the average. At least that's what I'm basing it on this. I say if you can do this by inspection, that's probably fine. But if you've got some values, you maybe do a calculation. So what we've done is just taken the average of this row. I've also done, just to make things clear, I've also done some conditional format in this row. So I used a color scale, going from red at the bottom to green at the top. I think that's the other way around. Yeah, red at the top, green at the bottom. Then I've had to do that separately for each row, the conditional form. And if you try to do it for the whole table, it'll base calculations in the whole table. We want it done row by row. Right, so we've got our information here, we've got the averages, and then I've translated this just to make it easier for me into, in this case, the average for calories is 93, so cow's milk is above that quite a way, so we're going to call that a plus. Now I've put there, made a mistake there. The average again is 93 and size 95, so I think it's reasonable to call that a 0. Right, so what I'm going to do now is copy this over into the main spreadsheet. Now some things we can do just in normal copying way, so I'm just going to copy them. Copy, go over to here, go to paste values. Similarly, I'm going to do that for this set of information as well. So copy, and again, paste values. I'm going to change the example matrix to milks, so we know what we're doing. Right, now we can't copy over this information because, as I mentioned, these are not numbers. They are symbols from a drop-down menu. So what I'm going to do is pause the video while I change all these to what they should be. So I'll be back in a second. Actually, before I do that, what I should do is copy across the average, which in effect is what's called in the main spreadsheet the baseline. So I'm going to copy them, and again I'm going to have to paste values. I just put them in there. It's added some decimal points I don't really want, so I'll just format them to number decimal point 0. The spreadsheet doesn't do anything with this. It's just there as an indication to help you see what the baseline is editing information. Okay, so as I said, I'll now enter the various values we need. Right, okay, so I've entered the information, and looking at the rank, which will be most importantly, we can see almond milk is ranked the highest, and it's got 3 pluses, whereas coconut milk is ranked the lowest, it's got 3 negatives. You look across here to see the things which are producing the most impact. So if we look at calories, we can see that's ranked number 1. That's the thing that comes out as the most important factor. And then it's this sort of numerical calculation, with the carbohydrate concentration and the calcium concentration being the worst. Okay, there we are. So that was the Pugh matrix. Hope that was straightforward enough. Thanks for listening.